Hello all and welcome into round 9 of the Tier 2 calendar. We head to Austria following a dominant win from GB Sanderson in Brazil. We head to the Styrian mountains for another episode in this exciting championship battle between Dynamic Duo and GB Sanderson. Currently GB Sanderson leads the way in the championship as we head to the shortest track on the calendar with 10 turns, 3 DRS zones. Who will win in Austria? Hello all and welcome in to round 9 Tier 2. Currently 3/10 up on his lap. Will he be able to keep it? He runs wide but somehow keeps it valid. Must have lifted a little bit, but it gets a 3.6 in Ethan. Despite running wide off track, still gets the lap.
Oh no, I fucking validated. No.
Pitting this lap then, coming to the pits at the end of this lap.
Oh, and Josh will not improve here as he sees the Ferrari of Ethan starting his lap, and Josh has missed out on pole here. Can Ethan now improve? Currently it says he's a 10th down exiting sector 2, but as he crosses the line, where will he go? It is 200 shy of his lap time. So even if you want to argue that Ethan's first lap time shouldn't have stood, if it were real life it wouldn't have stood, his second lap would have definitely got him up there. And we're getting ready as the 5 lights are on, and Ethan in the Ferrari will lead us away as the 5 red lights are out, and they're gone. Okay, the Williams did a Norris, but we've got our start, and GB's had a lovely start here up into P4, but a contact with the Alpine here as there's cars off in the background. There's a spinner, multiple spinners, Charisma, Cthulhu and Tantrum. When Brabazsi losing the rear, Tantrum picks up a time penalty as Rangano coming through, as well as Dobo through on the inside of Addiction as possible. Meanwhile, Addiction gets back through on Dobo. Dobo's ran off. RAF's gotten through, as well as Ranga here. Ranga through Josh. There's a battle for the lead, as well as Ranga now on the inside of RAF. Sends it in. Brilliant send from Ranga. Dobo looking for a way back through again. Meanwhile, we've got Dubsy off now. There's a 3 wide between Brabazsi and Pneumatic as well here. And Pneumatic now on the inside of Brabazsi. Will he look for the move? Pneumatic sends it on the inside. Bit of contact with the rear of the Red Bull. And meanwhile, Dubsy looking for his way through on Pneumatic. Pneumatic still trying to find a way through. And round the outside, Brabazsi covers that move off Dubsy. He's caught the rear of the Haas. And Dubsy now, unfortunately. Oh no! Oh, he just about goes. Oh my word. Meanwhile, there's chaos here through the final corner as RAF gets ahead but loses out now. Addiction's through. Ranga may be through into turn 1 here as we got the Alpine of Dobo as well. Absolute chaos here. On the rear now of Josh. Josh is around another 10 laps to do on these softs if he wants to go with mediums. Meanwhile, Ethan gets ahead of the Aston Martin driver, as you can see. GB now looking for the move. Meanwhile, we've got RAF and Addiction battling again here. And Addiction now on the inside of RAF has the DRS as well. This is a brilliant battle between RAF and Addiction. And RAF now sends it very late on the Alfa Romeo. and has somehow pulled that move off. Brilliant move from the Mercedes. And meanwhile now, it's Dynamic Duo side by side with Josh. Josh has had a little bit of an error now that has allowed the door to be opened for the AlphaTauri of Dynamic Duo. Josh now round the outside, and all this battling may help Ethan head off into the distance now. He's now 8 tenths clear. Can Dynamic Duo stay inside the DRS of Ethan? It's sure been a warning. Meanwhile, Dynamic Duo now outside of the DRS of Ethan. He needs to get caught up very soon. Otherwise, Ethan, it'll be his race to lose. Meanwhile, Coldzilla now on the inside of Addiction. Can he find a way through? Meanwhile, we've Josh in ahead of Dynamic Duo. Dynamic Duo also may concede to GB Sanderson as well here. And GB on the inside now. Gonna make that move stick. But importantly, they're still out of the DRS range from Ethan now. And that needs to be closed before Ethan disappears off down the road here in Austria. And GB now on the rear as the cameras just won't switch. It is not turning on. I'm spamming the button. Oh, thank you for that. The button works as the move's already done. While that's Brabazsi picking up a time penalty. Josh looking for the move on GB. Does not get the move done, and he may have opened the door to Dynamic Duo now round the outside here in turn 5. And what a move it'll be on board with the helicopter here in Dynamic Duo with a lovely move around the outside through 6 and 7. Impatient. We've got Crypto on the inside of Coldzilla here as we're getting horrible camera angles. Jesus! I've never been more annoyed at camera angles in my life. They have been horrific. Duo looking to close up to GB, and you see the gap between GB and the leader here continue to build. I wonder, is Dynamic Duo now going to look for the move? But he may have went a little deep, which may allow GB a way back through again with the DRS. And GB now round the outside looking for the move in his championship rival. And you can see this battling is not helping their battle for the lead, but do they care? They're more worried about each other here in the championship. GB now round the outside of Dynamic Duo. Dynamic Duo has the inside, and lovely battling here, and Dynamic Duo dives it back up the inside and will keep P2. Lovely battling here between our championship rivals. Hards, or maybe mediums. Mediums could go 20 laps, and Josh is going on the mediums. He's not going for a similar strategy to Ranga, who is going for the soft, medium, soft, I'm sure. And Josh now is going to exit just ahead of his teammate now. While Dynamic Duo and GB, as I mentioned before, that gap now to the lead is now at 4 seconds. Meanwhile, though, Ethan, as we mentioned, the lead. Ethan has picked up a time penalty. Have Tantrum and Pneumatic, the brothers battling here. Oh, there's a bit of contact, and both brothers are around. I don't believe it. Both brothers come together. They are not going to have a great time at the dinner table later on as both brothers come together. Tantrum now with damage. almost, as GB's gone off. GB, our championship leader, off with Crypto as well. Both GB and Crypto off in the gravel.
What is he doing? What the fuck is he doing? You fucking idiot.
Meanwhile, we've got RAF and Josh now on the rear of Charisma. Josh is going to let off early because he can see the battle as there's a bit of contact between the Red Bull and the Mercedes now. And can Josh find a way through? Charisma's going to come back at RAF. He's going to choose the inside, is the Red Bull. Sends it on the inside now. RAF looking for a bit of a switchback. Charisma now has the inside line into 5. Will RAF get the move? Charisma defending very well here. He's going to have enough in the tank to do much more. Oh no! Ranga! Big contact with Addiction, and Addiction's out! I don't believe it! My controller's turned off in the excitement, and it's a late safety car! It's a late safety car that's absolutely thrown a spanner in the works here! Oh my lord! Oh my lord! Ranga's absolutely annihilated Addiction there.
What a fucking idiot.
Can't
Come on,
believe what
no.
I've just seen. And we'll have 2 racing laps with Michael Massey making the call, and Crypto has now left the session after having retired a while ago. And Ethan now is going to somehow pull 3 seconds in 2 laps. Dynamic Duo just needs to dump the battery now in order to not lose out to GB. But GB has 2 lap cars in the way of him. So this may be a win on the cards for Dynamic Duo as we now get restarted now. Ethan now 1.3 ahead. Very important here. We're going to have no DRS under this restart. Does Ethan have enough in the tank to pull the gap to Dynamic Duo? Dubsy picks up a pen. But can Dynamic Duo stay within inside the 3-second gap to Ethan now? Can GB catch Dynamic Duo? What will happen here on the final laps? Very interesting to see. The penultimate lap we're on now, and Ethan leads us away 1.4 in the lead. Dynamic Duo 1.5 behind, and Ethan is going to have to pull some serious gap. He's got a yellow flag now, and I don't know what that's for. A couple of lap cars maybe letting drivers through now, as Cthulhu picks up another time penalty. Meanwhile, Cthulhu's retired. Cthulhu off into the gravel. And I can't even see what's happened there. There's no camera angles. Why has he gone straight off there? Who knows? Meanwhile, we head on to the final lap. Ethan now sets the fastest lap. He's got 1.2 to pull in this final lap. Does the AlphaTauri of Dynamic Duo have enough in the tank to catch Ethan? He just needs to stay within inside the 3-second margin, and Dynamic Duo will have the win here. Dynamic Duo will have his 2nd win of the season after winning in Italy. Can Dynamic Duo win again here in Austria? Pneumatic picks up a time penalty, battling with Brabazsi, and Dynamic Duo now 1.9. It's 2 seconds is the gap. The gap needs to be 3 if Ethan wants to win here. Meanwhile, GB still with inside 1.2 of Dynamic Duo. Ethan now into the penultimate corner, through the final corner. I don't think it'll be enough though. Ethan now has had a terrific race, but that penalty has cost him with the late safety car. A Dynamic Duo wins in Austria. Ethan finishes P2. GB not close enough to catch Ethan. Will finish P3. Ethan does get P2. Coldzilla now in P4. Josh P5 does get a good recovery drive. Meanwhile, Ranga jumps Charisma on penalties.
And with that absolutely insane ending to the Tier 2 Austria Grand Prix, Ravage picks up his 2nd win of the season, pips Ethan, the debutant, to his debut win. Unfortunately, that time penalty ultimately costing him at the end with the drama of the late safety car. And GB Sanderson has to settle for P3 in the race. And with this result, it helps Ravage close up in the championship to GB. Only separated by 13 points now as we head to round 10. We head to Silverstone. Only 3 races remain in this season's calendar, and the title battle gets closer and closer as time progresses. Who will win the championship this season? I've been WHF Arrow. Thank you all for watching, and goodbye.